Well, good evening, brothers and sisters. Alive, dwelling in the garden, Saigon, it's now. Turtle time. Yes, before we get into it, check out the garden. Everything's good. Harmonious, peaceful, calm. Just hanging out with the plants. Okay, so the Stickman Show, Dream State 6, action. They call me Rodney Josephson. All right, so this is something I've kind of done before, but this is a little bit more related to the Dream States series that I've been talking about. This is to show you that in this so-called reality, we are living in a dream, and this is a documented situation in the sense that I wrote it down. I did meet my niece, and it all just is all a fact. But we're talking about the alpha and theta states of mind, maybe even delta, because I was tired. So anyway, I was very tired. I arrived to Las Vegas, and I had like 24 hours to go to LA and back before I had to go do my next project. And so I was very tired when I got to Las Vegas. I think like 24 hours, no sleep. And then I continued. Drove all the way to Los Angeles, which means the city of angels. Met my niece, got my information, my mail, and spent a little bit of time there, and then drove back. So it's about a 4-hour drive, I think, to Vegas, depending on how fast you drive. And I'm driving back, and just over the hill, I got filled up on gas and continued to drive. And I remember paying with my wallet, my cash and all that. And I put the wallet next to me. I continued driving, and I was so tired that, my head's bobbing up and down. Luckily, there was no traffic. This is on a Monday. It's about midnight or after on a Monday, off season for Vegas. Las Vegas means the oasis, and this is Death Valley. What a coincidence. So I'm driving, and I got off the highway because it's Baker, California, which is about in the center of nowhere. Maybe got 12 gas stations, a couple fast food restaurants, a Tesla filling station, and maybe a motel. So I'm getting off the highway, and I'm turning the corner, and it's pitch black, and I'm going over the bridge, and I see a car in front of me parked on the side. You couldn't see it until you got within 20 meters of it because it's so dark out. And I see a guy like waving me down with a gas can. And so I pull over, roll the window down. He says, "Hey man, I'm out of gas. Can you give me a ride?" And I said, "Yeah, get in." So he gets in, he's telling me a story about his mother being sick in Vegas, so he's going to pick her up. And he ran out of gas. So I drove around, came to the first gas station. He said, no, keep going. We get all the way into the halfway point, which is probably the 5th gas station we passed. He said, "You can drop me here." I said, "Okay." I dropped him off, and I went down the road, and I was so tired I had to sleep. So I'm in such a state, like I'm numb or like buzzing and just hanging in there, very lucid, flowing, weird state of mind. So I'm putting my seat back, and I notice my wallet's gone. So I searched the car thoroughly, looked around, back seat, front seat, under the seats, glove compartment, everywhere. He wasn't there. And it hit me that he must have borrowed the wallet. So I, without any thought of doing any harm or anything, I said, I'm going to get my wallet. In my mind, I smiled and I jumped back in the car, put my seat up, and drove off. And I'm driving down the road, and I see him walking off on the side of the gas can. I pull up to him, roll the window down. He says, hey man, can you give me a ride? I says, yeah, jump in. And he goes, oh, it's you. I says, yep. I says, by the way, I'm missing my wallet. And so then he was starting to get in, but then he jumps back out. And I said, you know what we have to do? He goes, yeah. And he jumps out and he's like patting himself down, going, not on me, or not in my pocket. Just remember, it's pitch black and there's no one out there. You know, this is a good scary movie. So I jump out of the car. I says, we have to search the car. He goes, yeah. So I'm jump out. I go to the back, looking in the back under the seats, and he was in the front, you know, searching on the passenger side. And I'm going, you know, it's not in here, man. I come back around and look, and there it is on my floor, right in the middle. I says, good Lord. So we both jump in the car and we continued our drive back to his car. And I said, hey, you know, I said, can I ask you a question? He said, yeah. I said, do you believe in God? He says, yeah, we're Catholic. We go all the time. And then I said, do you believe in angels? You might come down every once in a while. He like, calm, didn't say anything, you know, nothing to say. So we drive, we got around the corner. He says, yeah, I'm parked over there. I says, yes, I know, I picked you up. So, you know, he's, what do you say, in shock? I don't know. So, you know, here you have a situation. I could have killed him, he could have killed me, I could have beat his butt, he could have beat my butt. But my intent was just to get the wallet back. I didn't care about anything else. And he knew I had that intent. So I think this is what you got to think about is that this is a live state of, it's a state of consciousness that you are actually you're living a dream which perhaps you created or wanted to see how you would behave in it, just to test yourself. You know, something exciting, I guess, if you want to look at that. And so I could be either one, and he could be either one. But I chose to get my wallet back and give him a ride, because I'm a nice guy. You know, the moral of the story is, it's a big desert. A big desert. And there's a lot of animals out there that are hungry. So yeah, that was action. Fully living a nightmare scenario, which turned out good for both. He learned his lesson. I hope so. I learned my lesson. I think I had to imagine that I had maybe lose my wallet before this happened. So the power of one's imaginations can create scenes, and then you have to live through that and see what happens. Hopefully you don't go down one of those rabbit holes where someone gets injured or hurt, because then you'll have to live that experience. So, in other words, be careful what you wish for, because you're going to get it, and know your options. I mean, know the consequences of your choices. So this is one form of the dream in action. You know, we have the different frames or states of mind in this reality or in others. And as I've said in my other videos, it's all just a dream in a different conscious state of mind, whether in this reality, whether you're in dream world, sleeping, dreaming, or when you're in another place, a so-called realm, timeline, or however you want to think of it. They're all different states or frames, states of consciousness, levels of consciousness. That's basically is what it is. And basically I'm going to end it on that. It would make a good movie. Many ways to turn. Many results could come from this. And it turned out all for the best. Because I can tell you tell you what happened. So thank you all for coming. Alive, dwelling in the garden. Saigon. It's now. Ciao.